Basically, from our audience feedback, we have learned that they thought our lip syncing was of a very high standard, which like worked really well, because obviously if you make a music video and the lip syncing is crap, then you're not going to enjoy it as much, you're not going to get as emotionally involved with the music video. So that was very good, and also the use of marking the music track and like marking it so it goes through all the tracks so we can see when and where choruses starts worked really well for us, because it meant that everything was in sync, and then we could lock it and it would stay in sync. Also, they found it a lot more interesting because we used a lot of different a lot of different locations, which meant like it was more varied, and if it was just shot in one place, it can get quite boring because there's no like scenery change, and you can see like changes through the music video. As we start off in a built-up city area and we move to this more natural side when the mime finally meets the artist and takes him on this journey to find his actual true love instead of chasing after this normal girl which isn't working out for him. Okay,
through audience feedback, primarily I've learnt that originality is a concept that's never ignored or underappreciated by an audience. I found a really important aspect was colour and texture, and the real feel of the piece has a huge impact on how the viewer perceives the action and story that's going on. Our rough cut was really lacking in that sort of grainy old film feel, which was really not working with the Victorian film we were aiming for. This impacted on the viewer, as the footage was really bright and neutral, which it didn't work properly. So we fixed it and everything was fine.
The feedback from our rough cut also showed like we needed a few more close-ups of the artist, because we hadn't got that many at that point. There was only about maybe 4 or 5, and like that wouldn't sell the artist to the audience enough, and they wouldn't be able to link the person lip syncing with who the artist was. So they what we did is like increased it even more, but in the final cut one, which was quite interesting, they still said we hadn't got enough, even though there was about double the amount of close-ups, which has like shown us that in future we maybe need to use, if we're trying to sell a particular person to an audience, we need to make sure we use lots and lots of close-ups so that we can't be told we haven't used enough again.
I think from our rough cut we've developed a lot, because the feedback we got on that said that we needed to add more of a tone to our video, which we've done by using the vignette, which is a filter on Final Cut, sorry. They also said that they didn't see enough of the performer, which we then added in more to our final video by cutting out some of where the mime was, like where we thought it was too long for the mime to be on screen, we put some more of the performer in, which broke it up a bit. Throughout the process, I've learnt how to use many different types of technology and been able to develop my skills on those I've already used before. In the planning and reset stages, the first thing we used was Blogger. This is where all the planning would be displayed, and so you'd be able to see like the process we went through to come to our final decision. Also to look into music videos, we used a lot of YouTube, which gave us access to a lot of music videos, so we could see what kind of thing was included in different types.
We used Final Cut during the production of our music video quite a lot, because it helped to create the old style atmosphere of the video and to edit the lip syncing and clips into the right place. And it's helpful because it has a lot of filters such as vignette and noise filter, which helped us to create the grainy old style of our footage. and like in the style of old mime films. We also used Photoshop during the creation of the digipack and poster, as it allowed us to. We found a circus poster and a ticket from an old circus, and we edited out the images of the circus performers for that and inserted our images of the mime and the artist. And this is really good as we were able to still keep the features of the old images, yet create it into the style we wanted.
In the construction of our music video, we used HD handheld cameras, which were incredibly useful because I've seen some of the a lot of other colleges around Cambridge, they use the bigger ones, and I've seen them in use, and they seem to sort of like overpower the actors in the scene. So it makes it sort of all that more scary if you have this massive camera in your face. So when we were doing close-up shots, it meant that because the camera was so small and it came out as such a high quality, we found it like worked really well because we were able to be more natural with the filming, and we could do shots where we were walking backwards and we were walking around corners, tracking our artist and mime, so that it like worked really well. Another thing that worked really well for me personally was the blogger, because it meant like when I was at home or if I was in any other room in college, or even like I was at my workplace, I was able to, if I was on the internet, I was able to like, so if something inspired me, I could literally like go straight onto Blogger, do a post on what it was instead of losing that inspiration. So you could post it literally wherever you were, and so it meant that all the inspiration that we got, like wherever we were, was able to be like placed in somewhere that was nice and neatly organised, and made it really easy to read all our work.
Our idea for the magazine advert and digipack started like any other idea on pen paper and a quick browse of Google Images. However, they're both constructed using the program Photoshop. This software was used to construct and edit images, and we also used colour overlays, filters and burning and smudging tools to create the effect that we wanted for our ancillary products.
Which was like aged and stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, everybody found the blog really useful because it was really lovely, because every process was accessible and clearly displayed in order to evaluate effectively.